All right. Let's discuss something that came up in the wrestling world today, which is kind of funny. You know, when you go to a show, a wrestling show that's 21 plus, you're probably going to see guys using barbed wire uh wrap baseball bats smack each other in the head with them. Um yes. Okay. Uh Tables wrapped in barbed wire that they throw each other through. They'll get body slammed onto thumbtacks. Um why are you looking at me so horrified?
What on earth are you talking about?
They have bring your own weapons matches where fans bring weapons from home that the wrestlers can take from a fan and use on each other.
What in the world are you talking about?
Wrestling.
It's not a thing.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is. CZW, Combat Zone Wrestling. Their whole wrestling company started out as, oh, we're crazy, we do all the crazy stuff, and they would put each other through flaming tables,
That's
through
stupidity.
tables wrapped in barbed wire,
What the hell?
and hit each other with baseball bats wrapped in barbed wire. And
Wait,
Mick
are you
Foley made a
being
living on it.
serious?
Yes. Yes. If you look at wrestlers from the 80s, their heads would be gouged. You'd see scars all the way across their heads from all the blading they'd done of themselves. So the reason I'm mentioning this is
Ew.
because Priscilla Kelly, who is an indie wrestler that had a debut at the Mae Young Classic this year, and I certainly hope this doesn't preclude her from being in the next one, because she's got talent. The girl can wrestle. She's young. I don't think that's an excuse for this. During a match, which in this footage has gone viral, she insinuated that it was her monthly time of the monthly month and took the implement from within her monthly and tossed it into the
Within
mouth.
her monthly,
You know what I mean? And I
you
and
can't say like words at all.
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna get me flagged. I don't know.
There are so many gajillion of slang words you could use.
So she
Her
reached.
monthly is not one of them.
Uh, you know what I mean. Aunt Flo. So with Aunt Flo in town,
There you go.
she then took said implement, threw it into the mouth of her opponent, which had the crowd who were nearby just howling and screaming. So the footage comes out, and there's people who are defending it, and there are people who are attacking it, and there's guys from WWE that are attacking it and saying, and there's women that are saying this is why women can't be taken seriously. This demeans everything we've done. I'm not sure how that demeans everything women have done when you consider some of the stuff women were doing 15 years ago because men were telling them to do it. And in this case, it's a woman coming up with an idea on her own. And is it over the top? Yes. But as she pointed out herself in a Twitter post, it was a 21 plus show. This wasn't a kids' show. And honestly, you probably see worse at a bar on a Saturday night, anyways, if, depending on which bars you hang out at. Nasty stuff happens. And that's where it was. This wrestling event was at a bar. Like, so here's the thing that gets me. So I've seen a lot of posts today, and I wanted to wait until tonight because I've seen a lot of posts today about stuff that happened in the Attitude Era, to which WWE wrestlers and creative people have said, that's during the Attitude Era. We know better now. Do you? Authors of Pain. How did Authors of Pain lose their titles? Because their manager kept pissing himself. Here's what I don't understand. So, what she did is disgusting, but Drake repeatedly pissing his pants, which he actually did the first time, is what the rumor is, because they had this setup for him that was supposed to simulate him pissing himself, but it didn't work. So he actually had to do it. That's okay. That's fine. But what she did is disgusting and over the line. I don't know. I think both are equally debasing. I think that what happened with the Drake Maverick Authors of Pain storyline, it destroyed them as monsters. They came out with Paul Ellering in NXT. They stuck them with Drake Maverick, and I went, okay, Paul Ellering at his age probably can't do the tour. He probably can't be out on the road. He probably can't be at every weekly show. He could do the NXT tapings, right? Because they do many weeks all in the same time. He could come in for a day or two and then go home for a couple of months or whatever, right? So I got it that they had to replace their manager. But then what was with why? Like I can't think of a good reason that somebody sat at a creative meeting and went, "Hey, we're the biggest wrestling company in the world. What if he pees his pants?" And people went, "That's a really good idea. That's a solid idea." And you know what's funny is when he did it, the first thing I saw was people saying the Attitude Era is coming back. Now, for people who don't know the Attitude Era stuff, they almost sacrificed Stephanie to Satan at one point. That was a storyline. She was crucified. They crucified Stone Cold Steve Austin at one point. They had him on a cross and they were going to burn him or whatever they were going to do to him. They had Undertaker go right from being the Undertaker to being full on evil. Now, again, that's the Attitude Era, so that's totally different. Right, and they had Katie Vick, where Triple H pretended he was having sex with a corpse. They had, and I mean, these are fun storylines for the family, right? See, the difference is Priscilla Kelly is an independent wrestler working for not a lot of money at an independent wrestling show. And you get talked about. If you get talked about, that's kind of a good thing for you. Is this the greatest thing she could do? No. If I was a promoter and she came to me and said, "I think I should do this during the match," I'd probably go, I think we can brainstorm something that might be a little better. You want to shock the audience? Fine, we'll think of something else. That being said, I'm not in that position. I'm also not in a position to judge her, which plenty of people are judging her for right away. I don't get it. Again, if this was on nationwide TV and it was a show that was attended by little kids, I'd be right there with everybody else. But on a show that was available for everybody, that was attended by little kids, that WWE says this is family-friendly programming for everybody, they had a grown man piss himself in front of everybody. Yeah. So, and not just once. It's this kind of weird, it's sort of like when Hornswoggle was Vince McMahon's kid, and it's funny, because, get it? He's a little person. That's why it's funny. And they would degrade the wrestler who was Hornswoggle constantly because he's a little person. Get it? It's funny. And that was the joke. That was the whole joke. I don't get it. So again, that's my own personal opinion of it. I understand there are a lot of people who don't like what she did. There are people who say whatever about it. But you know what? She's learning. She's young. She's a good wrestler. I don't think she'll run the spot again, but people have also pointed out Joey Ryan and the fact that he uses his manhood to flip people in the ring, which is just stupid. It's ridiculous. Jim Cornette also came out against what this girl did, and he came out against the fact that she said, well, it's all fake. Now, she wasn't meaning that all of wrestling is fake. She meant I didn't actually take a tampon out of myself. That's what she was talking about. Can't believe I have to say that in a video. I may want to rethink my life. But that's what she meant. And of course, Cornette does his Old Man Yells at Cloud. And I'm really glad that somebody posted that Old Man Yells at Cloud picture of, Abraham Simpson yelling at the cloud from Simpsons, because it's perfect for Jim Cornette. And I love Jim Cornette. He's amazing. But in this case, it's an indie show. He doesn't like indie wrestling in the first place. He has a lot of bad things to say about ECW and a lot of things to say about the minor leagues. And sometimes they have to do extreme things to get attention, like barbed wire bats and all this other crap that we don't hear anybody getting mad about, even though these people are genuinely probably concussing each other and cutting each other. And in and what we know from the 80s is that Abdullah the Butcher was passing his hepatitis on to everybody. But he got in the Hall of Fame, so good for him. He would carve people with a fork in the ring. So, and so he'd carve himself, and then he'd carve the other person with the fork, which meant that his blood that had hepatitis in it, and he knew he had it, was then shared with somebody else. So, I'm sure what Priscilla Kelly did is the worst thing to ever happen in wrestling history, and it debases the whole... It doesn't. It just doesn't. Because I've had that moment. I've had those moments where I've thought, it has to be rough for some of these women because they have to wrestle at that time of the month, and it has to be tough for some of them to wrestle when it's that time of the month in the first place. So, it occurs to me at times, I'm like, man, they don't look great in there, but you think, that girl had a bad match tonight, but maybe there's something going on physically that guys don't have to deal with, so we have no idea how it is. So we shouldn't really be talking a whole lot about it because we don't know how that works. I think if men went through that monthly, I think we'd fix it. I think we would forever create a pill so that would never happen again. I think it'd be, hey, Bill, something's going on down. We need to fix this. This can't. That's not. I don't like it. That's not good.
Before.
And it hurts. So that's it's red there. It hurts. I think we should fix this. And men would cure it in about a week. It would be gone. There would be no such thing if men had to go through it. But it's women, so it's fine. Here's some paper towel and just go that way. And don't talk to us about it because it's icky. And that's part of it too, is that because with women, that's gross, that's disgusting. We can't talk about that.
You have to pretend it doesn't happen.
Just go over there. Just ew. And she's kind of getting treated that way. Because she mentions, guys have done spots about their manhoods for ages. I remember, again, it's Attitude Era, right? But Val Venus was the porn star or whatever, and he had insinuated he slept with somebody, and the choppy the PP thing, where they had an Asian guy chopping up sausage on the stage, pretending it was his manhood.
That's weird.
I know, right? And some of these people who are parts of those angles are the people who are coming out now and going, I just can't understand what that 21-year-old girl was thinking. Because, yeah, I think Priscilla, I think she's 21 or 22. She's young. You do what you've got to do to get the crowd talking. You want them talking about your match. So you do what you got to do. And if it's a 21 plus show, and apparently the crowd loved it, I don't have a problem with it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I know there's going to be people who have a problem with it. I know there is. Because I've seen it on Twitter today, and I've been kind of taken aback by it. Because I don't really think it's that big a deal. As I said, it wasn't on television, and it wasn't intended for kids. So, it's really not that big a deal. Once again, we blow everything up out of proportion, and there you go. Let me know what you guys think, though. As always, in the comment section below, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.